Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. Going to do one cast today. I am just across the lake from the resort. Going to try throwing, talk a lot about this in my fishing reports, the pink power worm. You can see it on a little jig head. Got it about 8 feet below an indicator. They were running 4 units here just a little bit ago. It's a lot of water. Ran it for a couple hours. Pretty much cleaned out the lake, which is nice. Now the water's off, but it's still just barely moving. I'll wait for this boat to go by. I'm just past the buoy now. This has been the hot bait the last 2 or 3 years as far as just catching fish. You don't have to work it much. Basically just throw it out there. You might move it a little bit, but they'll take it either way. Dwayne had a trip this morning. Said they did real good, but they pretty much were after big browns, so they were throwing stick baits like mega bass 110s, I think. I'm not real familiar with bass baits, but throwing that big stick bait all morning. They had one brown over 20 inches, and then they had had one quite a bit bigger up to the boat that they lost. I asked him, really for my fishing report, I asked him how many browns over 20 inches he's got in the last 7 days, and on guide trips and taking friends out, he's caught 7. And he said he's probably lost 8 more on the way to the boat. I debated whether to throw off the dock or come out here and do this, because I threw this off the dock here a minute ago. I caught 2 fish immediately. I mean, it wasn't even, it takes a little while for that little jig head to get the worm to the bottom of the line, to sink all the way down, and about the time it hit the bottom, I'd had a fish on both times. So I thought, well, I could probably catch a dozen out here, drifted between the buoys, and it's proven me wrong so far. I am going to move it a little bit. Maybe there's more fish up around the dock than there is over here closer to the bluff. The water was off all morning. Dwayne also said that, I hope there's a touch. They're just kind of coming up and pecking at it. Dwayne also said he went up to the Narrows, and he got through okay, but he said the last couple mornings they've been drawing the lake down which they're not supposed to down at Empire Power Site, pulling out more water than what they put in, and makes the lake up here pretty shallow. He said it was pretty shallow getting through the Narrows, so if you're here and boating, keep that in mind if you're going to go up past the Narrows. He said it with the water off, which they're leaving the water off in the mornings. It should be really, really good fly fishing up there. Get out and wade that area up there. Might try that in the morning, but this is crazy. This is the hot bait. They're not touching it. This is when I really want to just throw a jig. I'd rather not catch fish throwing a jig than not catch a fish staring at a float. I'll get the float back up in front of me. Those that don't know, this is a 20-pound braid that I've got on the reel, and then I've got the tippet tied on the end of it. It's 2 pound, and we use the braid mainly because we can really see the line between the rod tip and the float. There he is. And we can also mend it. It floats on the surface, so we could also bend it and kind of keep track of the slack. He's just a little starker. But 2 pound line, I'm not going to lift him in the boat. That's the hard way to get a fish on one cast. I got a little bit longer before I hit the other buoy, or where it would be. Hopefully we'll get our buoy in this week. Oop, came off. I also have a little super glue I put on the hook before I put that worm on. Keep it from coming off. Somebody asked me how much of the worm you put on. It comes in sections. You can see it comes in one big long piece, but it comes in sections where it tapers down, and we use that whole piece. It looks pretty long hanging off the hook, but as you can see, they usually take the whole worm. I'm just about out of room here. When he took it right under, but he didn't swallow it. You know, I hooked him shallow in the mouth. And when I move the float, I'm not moving it much at all. It's just enough to kind of move that worm just a little bit. I think this tree over here is my marker. One thing that I would recommend is these weighted floats that we use. We sell them in the shop, but they're, I forget the name of them, but a place in Texas makes them. Okay. I'm officially past the last buoy. I'd like to do that again. I think, I know I can catch more fish doing it, fishing that one stretch, but at least I caught one. Thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow.